Okay, here we want to look at another integral that involves partial fractions, where we have to solve it using partial fraction decomposition. Now, there's a slight difference. If we look at this denominator, we're going to have to use repeated quadratic factors. So the first thing we're going to have to do, we know we're going to have to set this up, and this is how we set this up. A over x minus 1 plus b times x minus 1 squared. Okay, that's the repeated factors on the denominator. Now, just for clarity, I'm going to show every single step what we're actually doing right here. Okay, we want to multiply everything by this common denominator, but I'm going to show every step. All right, we have 2x minus 3, x minus 1 squared times x minus 1 squared equals a over x minus 1 times x minus 1 squared plus b there. All right, so we want to multiply these. So the first thing we're going to do, of course, this is going to cancel out. So we have 2x minus 3. On this side, one of them is going to cancel. So we have a times x minus 1. And over here, both of them are going to cancel. So we just have, we're just left with b. Now the difference in the last problems, we would plug in one of the zeros and then solve for a and then solve for b. This requires us to do a little something a little bit different. So we're going to say 2x minus 3 equals ax minus a plus b. All right. All we did, we distributed the parentheses on the right side of the equation. But now, we just match up our like terms and coefficients. So we have 2x is equal to ax. So therefore, 2 is equal to a. For our constant terms, we have negative 3 equals negative a plus b. And we simply use substitution. A is 2. And when we add the 2 to both sides, we get negative 1 is equal to b. Okay, so now we've solved for a and b, so this is what we need to do. We do just like we did before. That's going to give us 2 over x minus 1 minus 1 over x minus 1 squared. And we have to find the antiderivative here. But this is where this differs. We know that the antiderivative of 2 over x minus 1 is going to give us 2 times the natural log of x minus 1. We remember the rules. But we have to do something a little bit differently on this second part. Here we have to go back into u substitution. So let's go back here. We're going to have u is equal to let me back up, I'm sorry. We have negative 1 over x minus 1 squared, antiderivative. So remember, u is equal to x minus 1, and du would be equal to dx. So what we had to do in this case was negative 1 over u squared. dx was equal to du. And we just break this down. This would be equal to negative u to the negative 2. We have to use that rewriting process. And then once we found the antiderivative, that would be negative u to the negative 1 over negative 1. Of course, negative times negative make that a positive. So we have positive u to the negative 1, which is equal to 1 over u. And when we plug it back in, we get 1 over x minus 1. So it's a lot going on this problem, but it's nothing that we haven't seen before. It's really just putting everything together all on one problem. All the things that you learn from Calculus 1 and Pre-Calculus and putting it back in together. So in the end, we have 2 times the natural log of x minus 1 plus 1 over x minus 1 plus c.